The difference between the average and the elite isn't talent, it's mentality. The 1% don't think like everyone else. They don't wake up waiting for motivation. They don't chase instant results or validation. They move with purpose, they move with discipline. And they move when no one's watching. Average is overrated, and excellence is always a choice. The world glorifies comfort, praises mediocrity, and often rewards those who play it safe. But the truth is, staying average requires no effort, no courage, and no conviction. It's easy to be average because average doesn't challenge you. It doesn't test your limits. It doesn't demand sacrifice, and it doesn't expose your weaknesses. But excellence, on the other hand, is a decision. A daily decision to rise above excuses, to ignore distractions, and to commit to growth even when no one notices. Excellence is not an accident. It's a mindset, a lifestyle. The world's tough, a standard that demands more from you every single day. Most people settle because it's convenient. They choose what's comfortable over what's necessary. They want success, but they don't want to give up the habits that keep them average. They dream big but live small. Excellence doesn't live in that space. Excellence demands that you walk into discomfort willingly, that you face your fears, that you do the hard things consistently. When you choose excellence, you're choosing to outgrow the version of yourself that prefers easy over extraordinary. It's not about being perfect. It's about refusing to accept less than your best. Every person who's ever achieved greatness had the same 24 hours as everyone else. The difference wasn't opportunity. It was ownership. They took ownership of their time, their actions, their attitude, their energy. They didn't wait for someone to push them. They pushed themselves. Excellence begins the moment you stop blaming circumstances and start taking responsibility. It's realizing that no one owes you success. You owe it to yourself to earn it. And earning it means showing up even when you don't feel like it. It means holding yourself accountable when no one else does. It means turning discipline into a lifestyle. Average people make decisions based on emotion. But those who choose excellence make decisions based on purpose. They understand that feelings fade, but purpose endures. They know that excellence is not built in moments of excitement, but in moments of exhaustion, in moments when quitting feels easier than continuing. The gap between average and exceptional is filled with small choices that compound over time. The decision to wake up earlier, to train harder, to study longer, to prepare more. That's where excellence is born. Not in the spotlight, but in the silence of self-discipline. To live with excellence is to live with intention. It's to stop drifting and start directing your life with clarity. It's about setting standards that scare you because you know that growth doesn't happen in your comfort zone. Excellence will demand your focus, your patience, your resilience. It will require you to cut off the noise of comparison and tune into the voice of your own purpose. It will stretch you until you begin to see that the limits you thought you had were never real. They were just mental barriers waiting to be broken. The truth is, the world doesn't remember the average. It remembers the exceptional. The people who dared to give their all when others gave up. The people who were obsessed with improvement, not validation. The people who worked when no one clapped for them. Excellence isn't about talent. It's about tenacity. It's about staying committed to the process long after the excitement wears off. You have to decide that average is no longer an option for you. Because once you commit to raising your standards, you stop living by the limits others set for you. You start leading your life with purpose, passion, and precision. You become unstoppable, not because you never fail, but because you refuse to settle. Average is overrated, and excellence is a choice that only the brave make. Sacrifice separates the great from the comfortable. It's the invisible line that divides those who talk about success from those who live it. The comfortable chase convenience. The great chase purpose. The comfortable want rewards without resistance, progress without pain, and success without struggle. But the great understand that every dream comes with a price tag, and that price is sacrifice. To rise above mediocrity, you must be willing to give up what most people cling to. Comfort, excuses, and instant gratification. Greatness isn't found in what you gain. It's found in what you're willing to give up to become who you're meant to be. Sacrifice is the currency of success. Every hour spent working when others are resting, every moment of discipline when others are distracted, every choice to push through pain when quitting feels easier. Those are the sacrifices that define greatness. You cannot have both comfort and progress. One will always cost the other. The comfortable protect their comfort zone like it's a treasure, but the great see comfort as the enemy of growth. They know that nothing extraordinary can grow in a space where challenge doesn't exist. To reach new levels, you have to leave behind the version of yourself that settles for less. The great are not driven by feelings. They're driven by vision. They sacrifice temporary pleasure for long-term purpose. They understand that what feels good now often costs more later. But what costs more now often leads to something far greater in the future. Sacrifice is choosing pain today so you can experience peace tomorrow. It's choosing discipline over distraction, purpose over pleasure, and consistency over comfort. Every sacrifice strengthens your character, sharpens your focus, and builds the foundation of your future. Most people want to be great until they realize what greatness demands. It demands that you show up when you're tired, that you keep moving when no one notices, that you keep believing when everything seems against you. The great don't chase comfort because they know comfort kills hunger. They embrace the struggle because the struggle shapes them. They don't see sacrifice as suffering. They see it as the price of transformation. Every sleepless night, every moment of doubt, every hard decision becomes a brick in the structure of their success. Sacrifice teaches you what truly matters. It strips away the unnecessary and reveals your priorities. When you sacrifice, you discover your strength. You realize that success isn't about luck, it's about persistence. It's about saying no to what everyone else says yes to. It's about choosing the path of resistance because you know that's where growth lies. Greatness doesn't come to those who avoid pain. It comes to those who endure it and use it as fuel. The comfortable stay the same because they fear losing what they have, but the great evolve because they're willing to risk comfort for purpose. The truth is, you can't have both an easy life and an exceptional one. You can't walk the path of greatness without bleeding a little for it. Sacrifice is not punishment, it's preparation. It's life testing you, asking, how much do you really want it? And every time you choose to keep going, every time you give up something small for something greater, you prove that you're built for more. Greatness doesn't come from talent alone. It comes from trade-offs, from relentless commitment, from the willingness to give up who you are for who you can become. Comfort creates complacency, but sacrifice creates strength. And in the end, that strength is what separates the great from everyone else. Master the mind before you master the world. Every battle, every achievement, every victory begins in the mind long before it becomes reality. The truth is, the world doesn't break you. Your thoughts do. It's not the challenges that defeat most people. It's the mindset they bring into those challenges. The greatest obstacle you will ever face is not external. It's internal. It's the doubt, the fear, the hesitation, and the negative voice that whispers, "You're not enough." Until you learn to silence that voice and take control of your mind, you will always live beneath your potential. True power begins with mental mastery. The mind is the command center of your life. Every action you take, every choice you make, flows from your thoughts. If your mind is weak, your world will be chaotic. If your mind is strong, no external storm can move you. Mastering the mind means developing control over what you allow to live in your head. It means replacing self-doubt with self-belief, excuses with execution, and fear with faith. Most people never learn to do this. They let emotions dictate their actions, circumstances dictate their confidence, and opinions dictate their worth. But those who achieve greatness learn that control of the mind is control of destiny. You cannot lead others if you cannot lead yourself. You cannot conquer the world if you cannot first conquer your thoughts. The mind is like a muscle. It must be trained daily. Every challenge, every setback, every painful season is an opportunity to strengthen it. The 1% don't run from struggle. They use it as a mental gym. They build resilience through repetition, endurance through adversity, and confidence through consistency. They understand that every negative thought entertained becomes a limitation, but every positive thought reinforced becomes a weapon. When your mind is disciplined, your focus becomes unbreakable, and your results become undeniable. Mastering the mind requires awareness. You must become aware of what you think and how it shapes what you do. You must confront the lies you tell yourself, that you're not ready, not worthy, or not capable, and replace them with truths built from evidence, not emotion. You've survived too much to still doubt yourself. You've overcome too many battles to still live as if you're powerless. When you control your perspective, you take back your power. Life will always test you, but your mind determines how you interpret the test. Some see pressure as punishment. The strong see it as preparation. When you master your mind, you learn to respond, not react. You learn to stay calm in chaos and focused in fear. You stop chasing external validation because you understand that real strength is internal stability. The mind that's mastered doesn't crumble under criticism or failure. It learns, adapts, and evolves. The mind that's mastered doesn't give up when it gets tired. It finds a reason to keep going. The mind that's mastered doesn't wait for the world to be fair. It creates its own advantage. Everything changes when you realize that the external world is just a reflection of your internal one. The people who achieve the extraordinary aren't born different. They think differently. They protect their thoughts like a fortress. They guard their focus like it's gold. They don't allow negativity to rent space in their minds because they understand that what you focus on expands. When you feed your mind faith, focus, and fire, your actions follow. You start walking with purpose, speaking with confidence, and moving with clarity. The mind becomes your greatest ally instead of your worst enemy. Mastering the mind isn't a one-time act, it's a lifelong commitment. It's waking up every day and choosing to be intentional with your thoughts. It's reminding yourself that peace doesn't come from avoiding problems. It comes from controlling how you face them. When your mind is disciplined, no storm can shake your foundation. You move through life with calm strength, knowing that the world outside will bend to the world within. Because once you master your mind, you've already mastered the hardest part. And that's what makes mastering the world inevitable. Consistency is the currency of greatness. It's the quiet, unglamorous force behind every success story. The invisible discipline that transforms dreams into reality. Talent might open the door, but consistency keeps you in the room. It's not about what you do once. It's about what you do every single day. Especially when no one's watching, when the motivation fades, and when the results don't come as fast as you hope. The world celebrates the outcome, but it rarely acknowledges the countless days of commitment, repetition, and persistence that made it possible. Greatness isn't built in a moment of inspiration. It's built through the daily grind of discipline. Consistency is what separates wishful thinkers from achievers. Everyone wants to succeed when it's convenient, but the great ones stay committed even when it's not. They understand that results don't come from intensity alone. They come from endurance. You can go hard for a week, but it's what you do over months and years that defines your legacy. Every small action, every repeated effort compounds into something extraordinary. The truth is, consistency doesn't always feel exciting. It's not loud or dramatic. It's steady, patient, and often overlooked. But it's that very steadiness that builds the foundation of greatness. The reason most people never reach full potential is not because they lack ability, but because they lack consistency. They start strong but stop too soon. They let emotions decide effort. One day they're on fire, the next they're distracted. But greatness doesn't respond to emotion. It responds to repetition. It doesn't matter how inspired you are on your best day if you disappear on your worst. Consistency is about showing up, not for the applause, but for the purpose. It's the act of doing what must be done, even when you don't feel like doing it. That's where transformation begins. Consistency builds trust, not just with others, but with yourself. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, you strengthen your identity. You begin to see yourself as someone reliable, capable, disciplined. And when that belief takes root, confidence grows. You stop needing motivation because discipline becomes who you are. You no longer chase results, you create them. The more consistent you are, the more unstoppable you become, because your habits start to carry you when your motivation can't. Consistency turns effort into excellence and goals into guarantees. Life will test your patience. Progress will move slower than expected. People will doubt your effort because they can't see your vision. But consistency doesn't care about timing or approval. It cares about alignment, doing the work that aligns with who you want to become. You can't control the outcome every day, but you can control your effort every day. And that effort, repeated over time, compounds into mastery. The world might not notice your consistency at first, but one day it will have no choice but to respect it. The path to greatness is long, and consistency is the fuel that keeps you moving when the excitement fades. It's the ability to keep doing the small things that matter. Reading when you're tired, training when you're sore, creating when you feel uninspired. Those little acts are what compound into greatness. You don't become great by doing one big thing once. You become great by doing the right thing repeatedly until it becomes second nature. Consistency is not about perfection. It's about persistence. It's not about never missing a day. It's about never giving up, even when you do. The moment you choose to recommit, to keep showing up despite setbacks, you prove that your vision means more than your excuses. Consistency may not give instant gratification, but it gives lasting transformation. It's what turns ordinary effort into extraordinary impact. Greatness doesn't require brilliance. It requires endurance. The ones who win are not the most gifted. They are the most consistent, because in the end, consistency is the true currency of greatness, and those who master it never lose. The vision must be greater than the struggle. Every person who's ever built something extraordinary faced moments when quitting felt easier than continuing. Moments when the pain screamed louder than the purpose. Moments when the weight of the journey felt unbearable. But what separates those who make it from those who stop isn't strength or talent. It's vision. Vision gives pain a purpose. It reminds you why you started when the road gets hard. When the struggle grows heavy, it's the vision that whispers, keep going. Without vision, struggle feels meaningless, but with it, struggle becomes a stepping stone toward greatness. The truth is, the path to anything worthwhile is never smooth. Every dream, every goal, every pursuit of excellence will test your limits. You'll be misunderstood, doubted, overlooked, and challenged in ways you never imagined. The difference between those who endure and those who give up lies in what they see beyond the struggle. When your vision is clear enough, no obstacle can blind you. The pain may slow you down, but it cannot stop you. Because a person with vision doesn't focus on how hard it is. They focus on where they're going. The struggle is inevitable, but suffering is a choice. You can either let the struggle define you, or you can let it refine you. When you're guided by vision, you learn to turn pain into progress. You start to see every hardship as a lesson, every setback as a setup, every failure as feedback. Vision transforms the way you see struggle. It shifts your mindset from, why me, to, what is this teaching me? That shift is where growth begins. The struggle doesn't disappear, it becomes meaningful. You realize that everything you're enduring is preparing you for what you prayed for. Those who lose sight of their vision lose strength in the process. When your focus drifts toward the obstacles, the doubts, the delays, your energy fades. The world's tough, but when your mind stays anchored to your purpose, you develop a kind of resilience that nothing can shake. Vision gives direction to your discipline. It's the light that keeps you moving when everything else seems dark. The struggle only wins when your vision weakens. But when your vision burns bright enough, no storm can extinguish it. Every great achiever had to fight through unseen battles. They didn't escape struggle, they endured it. They didn't get stronger because life got easier. They got stronger because their vision kept them going when it would have made sense to stop. The vision reminds you that the pain you feel today is the strength you'll stand on tomorrow. It reminds you that nothing great ever comes without resistance. And nothing lasting is ever built without persistence. Your vision must be something that moves your soul, something that makes the struggle worth it. Because when your why is strong, the how always finds a way. Vision gives meaning to the mornings you don't feel like waking up, to the nights you can't sleep, to the days when doubt feels louder than faith. It keeps your fire alive when the world grows cold. It reminds you that every setback is temporary, but your purpose is permanent. If you want to rise above the struggle, you must let your vision become your anchor. Let it be the force that steadies you in uncertainty, the reason you keep climbing when you're tired, the belief that pulls you through when everything else says stop. Because the moment your vision becomes bigger than your pain, your progress becomes unstoppable. Struggle may test you, but it cannot break you when your eyes are fixed on the destination. You may bend, but you won't break. You may stumble, but you won't stop. The vision keeps you moving forward, one step at a time, until the struggle that once tried to hold you back becomes the story that proves your strength